Hello, love wrestling. It is Thursday night. You know what that means. It's another episode of Between Two Beards at a special time this evening, 8 o'clock. And when we're on at 8 o'clock, Pluggo, you know what that means. That means that there's a new episode of Quizplex tonight here on Love Wrestling at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please hang around after we get out of here tonight. It's always a fun time, and I think tonight might be a little bit of a spooky version. It is that week, you know, Halloween on Sunday. Yeah, but as you can see, below us, between the two beards, we have another third beard. We have our buddy Karl Karufel. Karl, how are we doing, my friend?
Oh, I am doing absolutely fantastic. It is absolutely amazing to be on a show where I don't have to do any production. I don't have to do any hosting. I can just sit back, relax, and talk about some professional wrestling.
And that's how I feel every Thursday here at Between Two Beards.
And we have our buddy Bubba Duke from Turnbuckle Talk with Karl saying hello from the chat. We have HCW Sports hopping in. Hello. Thank you for hopping back in the chat. All right, guys. We had some sorry, I'm still riding high. My voice is a little hoarse. I attended AEW last night and it was quite fantastic. So I'm feeling the repercussions of having a good time today. But I'm ready to talk some wrestling. There we go. Karl is a beast. That is correct. He's also very good at what he does.
I try.
All right. Well, I think the topic that we should probably start off on was the big news yesterday.
Kicker? Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we can touch that if you want. I thought NXT was very good this week. It was very, very good.
No, but bigger fish to fry tonight.
Oh, and before we go on, we do have a visitor from the Wordsmith, and that is right. This Sunday, we do get a spooky on Word Slam 3. The first two have been excellent. Pluggo and I have contributed to the last one. We did some Brock Lesnar, Heath Ledger.
I'll publicly apologize to the Wordsmith.
Heath Slater.
Busy week, and I forgot to submit my entry. If he still could take it before the show, let me know.
Wow, what a slacker! What an absolute slacker!
Hey, I'm just trying really hard not to push buttons today. But enough about me and my slackerness. We got Karl on the show.
Yes.
We need to let our guests do some speaking.
Let's go.
Fashion. Last week we had Josh just completely derail our guests.
Right? That run-in was absolutely freaking amazing. And
I mean, dude, that was a rant. Yeah, that was a Josh. Oh, and we got confirmation. We accept the lateness, so maybe Pluggo and I might get a little spooky on Word Slam 3
after the show here.
Maybe.
But
all right, but anyway, no. The big news,
let's do it.
The big news of yesterday involved Ring of Honor. About mid-afternoon, there was a report, and Ring of Honor released a statement saying that after Final Battle, they were going to go on hiatus for the first quarter of next year. And then a little bit after that, there was another report that came out, and it was confirmed by Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful, among others, that they also told their talent that as of January 1st, they were releasing all of them. But however, they would get paid through the end of March, I believe. They'll get paid through March 31st, which is probably the 90-day, whatever, how that works. But on January 1st, the whole roster of Ring of Honor will be released. Obviously, huge news in the wrestling landscape. Ring of Honor, for a long time, I wasn't an avid Ring of Honor follower, but I did go whenever they came locally. I would go see them live, and I would watch the bigger events and stuff like that. I went back and watched the Punk and Joe matches. I went back. So I've seen a good amount of Ring of Honor, but I don't keep up with it. But still, for a long time, they were considered the third, second, third, that higher indie, promotion. And now, and they did say they are going to come back, but you can't guarantee anything, so this is a potential huge shift in the wrestling landscape. Karl, I'll let you lead. What did you think when you first heard this news yesterday?
Well, I do want to just make sure that everybody knows that Ring of Honor, as of right now, what they're saying is that they are not specifically going to be done. So from their release, I will read from their release here. It says that the year will culminate with a final battle in December, and we will be taking the first quarter of 2022 to work internally to reimagine ROH. ROH has the most dedicated fans in the industry, which, yes, they do. And we appreciate their loyalty and patience as we reconceptualize Ring of Honor. We anticipate returning to live events in April for the Super Card of Honor with a new fan-focused product and provide a unique experience for wrestling fans. So this is something that people have been taking this and blowing it up and saying, hey, they're done. Oh my God, I can't believe it. They're gone. Well, they're actually not. They're just reimagining things. And how I kind of saw it was like NXT just did the same thing. They just, like, NXT is now NXT 2.0. They've reimagined things, and they seem to be kind of building a little bit more again. So same thing here. ROH is just going to be reimagining things, and hopefully maybe Sinclair Broadcasting will give them a little bit more of a focus. Maybe that's what's kind of going on here. Maybe Sinclair is going to say, hey, reconceptualize, and we're going to push you guys a little bit more. Maybe we can get them as a bigger company in the future, in the first quarter of 2022. I'm actually excited about this. I know that they're not done. I know they're not going anywhere. They're not finishing. So I'm excited to see what's actually going to happen. So take your time and do what you got to do, Ring of Honor, Sinclair Broadcasting. Do what you got to do to bring us good professional wrestling, as you always have.
Yeah. Pluggo, what are your thoughts currently, or what were they when you heard this? Are you a follower, an avid watcher of Ring of Honor?
I wouldn't say I'm an avid watcher. There's only so much wrestling in the day, right? So for me, Ring of Honor is something I keep up on. I keep tabs on. I pay attention to when I've got some downtime. And I'll, if there's like the women's tournament, definitely wanted to watch that. You don't ever want to see anybody in wrestling lose their job. I'm a big proponent of more wrestling is better. The more wrestling out there, the better for everybody, the more jobs there are to be had. So you don't want to, we could sit here and we could talk about all the, the Danhausens of the world, and they're going to be fine. But, you still feel gutted for some of those that maybe it's not. Maybe Ring of Honor was the stop, right? And the production crews and all those people that are going to be out of work at least until, the first quarter of 2022. So for me, like I said, I watch it. I'm excited to see what they do next. As Karl said, he's very adamant about, them coming back, and I believe that they will. I mean, Sinclair, we always talk about Sinclair. They got Sinclair money, right? Which was one of the things is maybe not the diehard Ring of Honor fan. It was like, well, they always say Sinclair money. And even Sinclair's like, let's pump the brakes. You know what that says to me? It says, hey, wrestling, some of these other big companies, hey, pump the brake. What if USA Network with Monday Night Raw says, hey, do something different. This isn't working for us anymore. Or even AEW, right? If the flame, the shooting star starts to diminish, that worries me, because that's all you ever hear about ROH. They got the money, they'll be fine. I think they will be. I think ultimately they'll come back. Wrestling's in a boom. So, but it's sad. It's one of those things where it's like it's fun to fantasy book, because we were on. I think all of us were on for the WWE releases earlier this year, and it was like man, we hate this fantasy book because it's people losing their jobs. So it's kind of like a bittersweet type moment,
Yeah.
It's just,
And-
it leaves a nicky feeling in me.
Yeah. And Carl, HCW Sports says, can they do that and survive right now in the current landscape with how things are going?
Short answer, yes. I think
All
they
right.
definitely can. Just like any other company out there that goes through and does a reimagine of things, I think they definitely can. That's all it is. I mean, they're just reworking, rebranding, whatever they have to do, and they're going to come back stronger, I believe.
All right. And according to the reports, they did tell their talent that if they have the opportunities to go find work elsewhere, they are 100% allowed to go do so. But we were talking for a few minutes before we hopped on here, and I said, do you think that, they said that to their talent, but they also said to their talent, hey, we are coming back. And when we come back, if you are still interested and available, we want you to come back. Like, it might not be everybody if they're doing a reimagining. I'm assuming they're going to go in a certain direction, but I would think, especially the top tier talent, they at least threw the feeler out there, because there are some very talented people on that roster, and we'll dive into the roster a little bit and kind of, it is bittersweet, but we will kind of maybe throw out like where we, what could happen. Do you think there was probably that conversation with some of the top talent, at least saying like, hey, when we come back, if you're out there, like we're going to be coming back to try to get you back here?
If they were smart, yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that they are smart. I mean, for how long has Ring of Honor been out there for? And while yes, maybe it has been a smaller promotion that really hasn't had the national stage that the WWE or that AEW has, they have still been going strong. Now, I mean, even during the whole pandemic, right? They did everything that they possibly could.
Praised,
right? They still did things to keep everybody's mind on Ring of Honor, which I absolutely loved. So in that respect, I think they're pretty smart. So I think that, yeah, definitely they would have gone to these people, especially top tier talent, and said, listen, if you do go somewhere else, it's okay, but we do kind of want you back as well. Right.
Yeah. And Pluggo, like Carl just said, like even though nationally they might not be considered one of the bigger top companies, you know who a lot of the superstars and wrestlers in the top companies, you know where they came through? They came through Ring of Honor. That were like, CM Punk and Bobby Fish opened Dynamite last night. Like, yes, CM Punk is, most people probably do remember him from WWE, but where did CM Punk become CM Punk? He became CM Punk in Ring of Honor. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles had a good run through there. Adam Cole, Young Bucks, like all these guys that we watch weekly on WWE and AEW and Impact and everywhere. Ring of Honor was where a lot of those people got their first break.
Which I think maybe that's what they're thinking. They need to get back to it. I see Brian's comment. I'm not pushing buttons tonight, guys. I see Brian's comment. The growth of AEW took from ROH. Sure. Yeah. I know that, the Elite were huge, and that's when ROH was maybe peaking recently for people. I know that if you go back to the CM Punk Mojo days and all that, that's good stuff too. But the Elite was gone, I think, from ROH regardless. And I think what they've been doing is trying to find that magic again, right? And it's hard to do with the growth of AEW. There's another option, and all those people that you just mentioned are flourishing in AEW. So for ROH, I guess I could make the comparison to the NXT, right? We all are like, oh no, what's NXT doing? This 2.0 thing's going to be crazy. And actually their ratings have improved. I don't want to, and it took a few weeks.
The show hasn't been that bad either.
And it hasn't been bad. The ratings have improved. So maybe ROH is sitting here going, we're not going to be able to compete with the AEWs. I don't know how the Impact ROH numbers are compared, but I have to imagine Impact's doing a little bit better. Maybe we need to come up, start from ground zero, start from scratch, let all these people go. Because why hold on to them if they want to come back? It's kind of like that old, if you let your love go and it's meant to be, they'll come back to you. Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they'll work some deals out with some other companies to get the Jonathan Greshams of the world to still work for ROH. But if you're going to start from scratch, this is, I guess, the best time to do it because you weren't making a dent with what you were doing. So if you it's one of those things, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting results. So I'm excited to see what they come up with. I'm obviously going to be interested, and we're all going to watch and see what happens and hope that they can recreate some of that magic and get back into that, top echelon of talent. Because I think right now it's what WWE, AEW, Impact, and then it was ROH. But I think even like a GCW is starting to gain,
is,
you know what I mean?
getting-
They're starting to gain some traction, and NWA is NWA.
MLW
MLW is in there. So it's crowded. It's a crowded space. You've got to stand out, and they just weren't standing out enough to get the viewership. Because like I said, I tune in when I know that there's a match that I want to see, but the rest of it, I'm like, I'm already watching 10 to 12 hours of wrestling a week. Do
I need some me time.
Right. I need to watch some How I Met Your Mother or some Step Brothers, or I got to watch the game, the Browns are playing, stuff like that, But no, I just mean it's the perfect opportunity to completely start fresh from like NXT did. They wiped the slate pretty clean. They left a few people, I think, just to do some transitional work. I think eventually you're going to see the Ciampas and the Garganos gone, and so ROH needs to start building their own stars, making some new stars, and becoming that unfortunately, it's the feeder system for some of the big boys, but it was some of the best stuff they had done, right? The CM Punks and Samoa Joes of the world. Like, people still to this day rave about those matches.
Yeah.
And those were over 20 years ago.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Oh man. All right. So when you look at the roster now, and like you said, Pluggo, the unfortunate thing is, when things like this happen and you start talking about like, oh man, I wonder where the Briscoes are going to go. And I wonder where Jonathan Gresham, and you start talking about the top tier. It's the mid to the lower card where it might not be as easy for them to find work somewhere, which is the unfortunate part of it. But when you're talking about the top of the roster, where do we see some of these people going? I mean, we have Jay Lethal's there. The Briscoes are there. Dalton Castle, Danhausen, who's,
love the Danhausen.
Yes. Jonathan Gresham, who we've mentioned a few times.
Trisha Dora.
Trisha Dora.
Roxy, like the women they've got.
Shane Taylor.
Shane Taylor's awesome too.
Yeah, like there are some really, really talented men and women in that company. Do we have any ideal spots where you want some of these people to go, who you want to see them wrestle? Maybe even if it's a one-off, maybe there's one-off agreements to have matches somewhere. Like, Carl, I'll let you, like, do you have anybody in mind that pops to the top of your head where you're like, I wouldn't mind seeing them go there and wrestle this person? I'm sure there's a bunch, but
there is a bunch, but to be honest, I don't want to see any of them leave ROH. Yeah. I don't want to see any of them go to any of the bigger promotions like AEW or even Impact or the WWE. I want to see them just go and maybe do some stuff for themselves. Just kind of go and do a little bit of work for themselves, go and do some independent events, go and work for HCW, go and work for, just smaller companies, even have a few go down and just do some stuff with AAA for a little bit. Maybe have a few of them, if they want, go fly over to Japan and go do a little bit with New Japan for a little bit. But I mean, I'm looking like right now here at the roster, and I'm like, there's so many people here. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. There's so many good names here though, like Delirious. Like where are we going to see Delirious? I don't think that we're going to see him anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. But then you take a look at the big names like the Jonathan Greshams, right? You got the Flip Gordons. Flip Gordon, go to New Japan. Yeah. You could have amazing stuff over in New Japan, right? Josh Woods. Where's Josh Woods going to go? I mean, he's known within Ring of Honor, but he really isn't known very much elsewhere. Yeah. So it's going to be hard for these guys. And I think a lot of them should just go and work independent events.
Yeah, smaller areas and smaller.
And then that way, when ROH comes back, boom, they've still got work. They still got a contract again. And they can just come back into the limelight.
Yeah, and like people like that, you have Ring of Honor attached to your name. Like if you go work those smaller independents, whatever, like you'll get a decent, they'll pay you for being a Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be fine. And HCW Sports is correct. Jonathan literally can go anywhere. He is phenomenal.
Well, I expect HCW to sign him. Come on, guys, make it
Yeah,
happen.
right.
Make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, if you were going to tell,
boom is going to be great though.
Yes.
To your point, right? Because they all go do independence. Like the independent scene is going to get, and that's only
That's a
going to make.
boost.
It's going to be a boost, and it's only going to make those indies better. It's going to make the people that are wrestling better. You know, it's going to work out. I think like a guy like Danhausen or Jonathan Gresham, you know, they're going to go somewhere because somebody's going to throw money at them. It's just going to be hard to say no. I would be interested to see the deals. Maybe they work some shorter term deals. Maybe they say, hey, AEW, you want Jonathan Gresham, you got to let me be able to work some ROH in the future if I want the out. Because they did that with Matt Cardona in AEW. They gave him like a five show deal or something.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe they do some smaller deals just to see how it works out. Because honestly, right now, and I know we love AEW and we talk about it a lot on this show, and there's more good than bad, but they are pretty stacked right now in terms of a roster. And yes, you sign the blue chippers. You make sure the Jonathan Greshams, you sign them. The Trish Adora, they definitely should sign her. I don't think it should be even a thought. But if I'm those people on that side of it, you know, do I want to go there and kind of get lost in the shuffle a little bit, or do I want to see how it plays out? Maybe go a short-term deal. That's what I would, if they allow it.
Yeah.
And Tony Khan's doing that right now with the Daniel Garcias, Wheeler Yutas. I mean, he did it with Jeff Cobb. So I think Tony would be open to having Daniel Bryan, Jonathan Gresham one time.
That's
You
what
know
I was
what I
just going
mean?
to say. Like Tony Khan would be like, yeah, we'll do a one. If you, that's all you want to do, fine. Yep.
Yeah,
Here's
cool.
whatever. Here's a one night paycheck. You're going to wrestle Daniel Bryan for 35 minutes. There you go. Have fun. And it would be insane. I called him Daniel Bryan, but Bryan Danielson. You know what I mean?
He is what he is.
Yeah, 1,000 times I'm going to do that. 1,000 times. All right, yeah. So definitely huge news, and it will be something that we'll all be keeping our eye on. And you know, I like how we're all pretty optimistic that they are going to come back and it will be reimagined, like they said, and hopefully it's a new kickstart to kind of get them back to kind of where they were, like being near the top of the independent promotion scene. All right, I want to do a little bit of a shift, and I think we should probably talk a little bit about Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. It was obviously on SmackDown last week. Yeah. So,
what a wild weekend for that rumor.
Man.
Just Charlotte put sugar in Becky's gas tank.
Man.
Somebody scissor kicked Vince McMahon in the face. Like there was just things flying everywhere. I was like, what do I believe here?
Yeah. So they had Crown Jewel was last Thursday. And after the results came out, everyone was like, they're going to do the damn title switch again with these two. They are going to just do the title switch. So not only do we know that's coming, right? WWE says, you know what? Not only are we doing a title switch, it's going to be the main event segment of tonight. They're just going to stand in the ring and give each other the titles. That's the main event.
Carl's look says it all.
Jesus Christ. Come on. Anyway, so we get to the segment. Apparently beforehand, and apparently a lot recently, the report is that Charlotte has been very vocal about creative and very unhappy, which is her right, because creative across the board, maybe with the exception of the Roman Reigns stuff and a few other things, has not been good for a while now. And I sent out a tweet and I was like, you know, like I've always been pro Charlotte. I know Charlotte has a lot of haters. I've always been pro Charlotte, but if the reports are true, like obviously you need to be a professional. You got to be professional. Your work, like, you know, it's your job. There has to be a level of professionalism. However, she knows her stature. She knows who she is. And she knows that she has the clout that if she's not feeling good about something, she can do things like we saw on Friday that kind of show everybody, I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled about doing this, but I'm Charlotte Flair. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? And I think that's what happened on Friday. She was pissed. She knew that segment was going to suck. And she was like, all right, I'll go out there, but I'm not happy about it. And she added, you know, Becky was supposed to grab both belts, hold them up, do the Becky 2 belts thing. And Charlotte was like, that's going to make me look stupid. I don't think we should do that. So then she ended up dropping the belt. and then Becky threw the belt at her, which wasn't supposed to happen. And then apparently there's a report that, like, I don't think it's confirmed, but there's a report that, like, Sonya Deville was ready to fight Charlotte in the back afterward. Like, what the hell? Karl, what the hell is going on? And what the hell is going on with the WWE's current women's division, first of all? And what is going on with Charlotte and all these reports of just her? There's reports that, like, a lot of the female talent don't want to work with her anymore because she's so not easy to work with. Like, it seems to be going down pretty bad. Like, the ship seems to be going down pretty hard over there.
I think the biggest problem has been going on for years, and that is the fact that they decided to continue and push for women continuously, working them so much and so hard, and having them as the focal point the entire time really starts to wear on somebody. And I think that it started to wear even a little while ago, but then probably daddy came and said, hey, Ashley, you know who you are, you know what your last name is. So then that kind of gave her a little bit of a boost, and now she's just kind of like, I'm a Flair, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And I think that's the situation that we're in right now, is that she's going, I'm a Flair, I can do whatever I want, and nobody's going to say a damn thing about it.
Yep.
But I wish that they would.
Yeah.
I wish that the WWE would say, hey, listen, honey, sit your ass down, because I don't care if you're God himself. You work for me. And if you're not going to go out and do this, I don't care. Charlotte screwed Charlotte. That's how it'll end.
Yeah. I mean,
but
I would think,
to all those haters, by the way, don't we all remember a certain all-time great that everybody reveres as an all-time great, not wanting to do a job to Brock Lesnar and taking his ball and going home and saying, no, I'm not doing it. All I'm going to say is it's a double standard in that sense. Like, I didn't like all the, the internet people really laying it in on Charlotte. Like, Stone Cold did it. I don't remember any of you guys being like, you know what a piece of garbage. No, I love Charlotte Flair. I am a huge Charlotte Flair. I'm a huge Becky fan. I think that there needs to be, to your point, Karl, I think there needs to be some give and take. Like, if you've got two of your top stars in your women's division that you've made top stars because you don't want to make anybody else, and they say, this segment is going to blow, please don't make us do it. Listen to them. They're out there. They're the ones. See, that's the thing. Like, yeah, we're smartening up. But back in the day, we'd have been like, Becky and Charlotte just suck. They just switched titles. Now we know that there's people writing for them, but some people don't. They might just think, oh, this is for we're going to boo this. And we're not booing Vince McMahon in that moment. You're booing Becky and Charlotte, and it looks bad on them. It's their image. You should work together. But yeah, is Charlotte maybe probably abusing her power a little bit? I would imagine so, because we all know she's Charlotte effing Flair. She's not. They're not going to let her go.
Yeah,
and walk over to AEW and just she completely. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, how Big E in a way toes that line of things he should. They're not going to let Big E go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They might. Vince McMahon might say, hey, you know what? I'm Vince McMahon. I made you. I can make somebody else. But it's a weird vibe. It's a weird situation. And I see both sides of it. I can understand that, just do your job. It's a script. You're supposed to just go with the script. But at the same time, these people are entertainers. They are performers. Nobody, I think, gets into wrestling to just act. So they want to have some creative control. And I feel like a Charlotte Flair or a Becky Lynch, hey, give them some, hey, what do you guys think of this segment? Yeah. I think they've earned that right after carrying the women's division literally on their shoulders for the last 10 years, it feels like. Maybe not that long, but
I got a question for both of you guys then.
Yeah.
Okay, so the whole situation that happened, everything that happened inside of that ring with the dropping of the title, the throwing of the title, all of that happened. Obviously, this is probably not the way that things were supposed to go.
No.
So do you think that maybe, just maybe, and I know that there's animosity between the two of them, whatever, but do you think that maybe they said, hey, let's just go out there and do something to really throw a wrench into things to get people talking, to make people remember this instead of this just being a bullcrap segment. Let's do something to actually make it a little more memorable.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Now, are you saying that more as like Charlotte and Becky said that to themselves, or like the company was like, hey, we're gonna make it look this, but you think Charlotte and Becky might have been like, hey, we're better than this shit.
Yeah,
like let's figure it out.
It definitely started with Charlotte, definitely, right? But then Becky, I think Becky's a smart girl herself too.
Oh yeah.
Right. So she's probably like, haha, okay, yeah. I see what's happening here. I see what's happening. So let's just continue on with this. And I think that that might be exactly what happened.
It could be. It could be.
100%. Trying to make, chicken shit out of chicken salad. Yeah, I could see it. And the way wrestling
out of chicken shit.
I make chicken shit out of chicken
reversed.
salad.
Yeah, strike that, reverse it.
It's long. It is what it is. I said it, clip it, put it on the website. I eat chicken shit for breakfast. Listen, all I know, Carl, is that Spencer tells me not to blow the budget, and I'm like, psh, whatever, dude. I do what I want. I'm the Charlotte Flair of this piece. But no, I think they probably were like, yeah, this is gonna suck. We could do something. That's possible. Wrestling, everything's up in the air, it's up in the air for possibilities, but you got to be more creative than this, right? Like, why would you even present this as an option knowing how poorly it was received the last time you did it? And this is with belts that in theory are more prestigious and important than the tag titles, right? If we were to do the hierarchy, it's the women's championships, and you're all about women equality in the WWE. And you just were like, let's just swap them. And then your two talents threw them on the ground in the segment. So it all just was like, these titles don't even matter.
Yeah. And then apparently, like, Charlotte was asked to leave the building because Becky was in the dark match because there was an altercation and they didn't want another altercation. So she was asked to leave. There were a few reports that said she was even like, not obviously like violently or anything like that, but she was like escorted out of the building.
The Kyrie Irving.
Like what?
WWE.
Man, like those reports are wild. Like that's wild stuff. That is clearly Charlotte saying, I'm done with this crap. Like you're going to start giving me good stories and letting me go out there and do my thing, or like this is going to end poorly. And, at some point, yes, she is Charlotte Flair. And yes, you don't want Charlotte Flair to leave your company. But if this starts really going this way, like Carl, you said at the beginning, like you got to put your foot down somewhere and be like, hey, you're not tanking. Like, I get it. You're not happy, but you're not tanking my show. So you're suspended. You're out, whatever, you would hope a person of that stature, it doesn't come to that. But I mean, it seems to be happening so quickly. In fact, like all these reports are kind of like, whoa. And we've seen other things. Like there was that moment in the Nia Jax match a little while ago where Charlotte was clearly fed up with that match and they started really hitting each other. There was the moment with Rhea Ripley on the pay-per-view when the crowd was giving them shit and she flipped them the bird and said, hey, F you. No.
It is possible
like,
that
there's been signs of unhappiness like in other ways like that for a bit now. That Rhea Ripley match was earlier this year, it seems like there's just and you can tell by
a lot of shit. Though.
Oh yeah, and she always has taken a lot. She has a lot of haters, and I don't think I don't think that's just. I've always been a pro Charlotte person, but she's all
outside of the four horsewomen, right? Name somebody that's on her level.
Well, and that is a creative. That's a WWE problem.
But
that's a creative. That's
but that's what I'm saying. If you're Tom Brady, and you're going out there every night with just garbage. On your
team.
Did
for a lot of the years.
Right, but I'm just okay. Maybe that's a bad example. We'll use,
and he still won. But anyway,
you're trucking out. You're LeBron James, 07 Cavs. You're trucking out Drudis Elgaskis. And you're supposed to get to the finals with Darius Miles.
Yeah, who's my second best player?
Right.
Oh, Darius Miles.
You're gonna get frustrated because one of the reports I saw was she wanted Belair to win on Monday.
Yes,
because she's a fan of hers, and it would be big for her. So you've got your star backing, who she thinks should be the one, and they're just like, no, here, fight with Nia Jax, who everybody knows her history. Fight with these women that by not their fault. I'm not going to blame the women's division for not being ready. The WWE's given them the Queen's Crown tournament was 15 minutes long. How are you?
The Sheeta and Deeb match from Dynamite almost was longer than the whole tournament.
But if you're not going to give women a chance, so basically, and you're not going to let Charlotte wrestle the men because the WWE is not about that. So Charlotte's probably frustrated, going, I've already done everything I can do here. You're not building up any quality opponents for me because you took Banks is on SmackDown. Becky, you'll do that, and then you'll move on to something else. Bayley's hurt. Asuka's hurt. What am I going to do? I'm getting frustrated wrestling these women who aren't ready. She's probably going, you know what? AEW sounds really nice right now.
Right?
Go ahead, Carl.
I was just gonna say to add on to that, like you talk about all these other women that have been out, that have been gone, that have been hurt, that have had some time off. How much time has Charlotte really had off? So she's the face of everything, who continues to go out there, who has to do the press, who has to do the meet and greets, who has to do the autograph sessions, who has to fight in the matches, who has to help teach the younger ones that are coming in by doing matches with them. She is continuously going and going and going and going and going. And as much as we would like to think that professional wrestlers are Energizer bunnies, unfortunately, they're not. They are human just like us. Sorry, kayfabe's dead. And
there's no off season in wrestling.
There is no off season. That's right. Does she just need a break? Yeah. Does she just need like 2 months just to go and vacation and just be like, I just need to just relax for a bit? Is that and maybe that's what she was trying to do when she's like, hey, let Belair win this. Like, come on, like let's do this. Right. Like maybe she's just kind of trying to, and just give me some time off for a bit.
Didn't another wrestler that we're all pretty fond of, CM Punk on the Colt Cabana podcast, said the exact same thing. He said, I couldn't get healthy. Anytime they were in a bind, they threw me to the mix and said, hey, we really need you. Can you come back early? And sure, Charlotte's probably a little disgruntled and she's probably not handling it the best. But at the same time, we're all human beings. We all work our jobs. If our jobs are grinding us down, eventually we're just like, you know what? I don't even care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she's just going through the motions. I don't know, but it's wrestling. This is Stone Cold said the same thing when he, walked. He was burnt out from being at the top because it's such a grind because they put you in so many spots and you're doing, I think even, I can't remember the wrestler. I don't want to, it might have been Cena or somebody said, those Make-A-Wish things are free. That's our time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those aren't something we're getting paid for. Yeah, we have a contract, but all those media things and the Make-A-Wishes and the meet and greets and the flying, they do the thing where WrestleMania, they fly the champion the next day to Good Morning America or Today's Show, and then fly him to wherever Raw is at.
And he's usually on the Tonight Show or he's doing all these things.
I've been up for like 12 hours today and I'm beat and I didn't fly cross country 7 times. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I could see that. I could see how she's probably frustrated. She's upset, and she's probably thinking in the back of her mind, and she absolutely should, nobody's as good as me. And I've got anybody I want lined up to sign me if you guys want to let me go. So it's kind of a game of chicken, I think, right now.
Yeah. I think she's burnt out.
Yeah, 100%. And we have a comment from Bubba Dookie says, does WWE really need Miss Flair?
They think they do.
They think they do.
If they pushed people, I don't think it would mean as much as we think it would mean for her to leave, because they should. This roster is talented. This women's roster. We talked about it last week with Josh. Super talented up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Give somebody the ball. Let them run with it. Let them give them you need to start thinking about, and I've been talking, you need to start thinking about the Charlotte Flairs, the Beckys, the Baileys. They're getting up there, right? They've been doing this a long time. Becky was out. We saw what happened to the women's division. She's out having, a baby. What if Charlotte and Andrade decide they would like to have a baby? Bailey's out for a year. Sasha has been getting movie roles. Amanda, you got to start thinking of the next 4 horsewomen.
Yeah.
That you just have to. It's just good for business.
And, when we started talking about this, HCW, they said, who besides the top 4 ladies can be on mic, I'll wait. And so I
Flair's
understand.
good now. She's gotten better.
Yeah, but like for me, like that's not the talent's fault. That's not the other women's fault on the roster. I bet you if they were given the opportunity or even given the time to do so, you would probably get some decent promos. Like I've seen Carmella cut good promos before. Alexa Bliss cuts a damn good promo.
Yeah.
I've seen Naomi cut a pretty good promo or two when she was the champ for a while. Like
Sonya's good on the mic.
Sonya's really good on the mic.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Bianca on Monday cut, I think, her best promo in WWE. I thought when she said the stuff at the beginning that was like kind of what you were expecting, you didn't beat me fairly, blah, blah. But when she started talking about like how Becky is nothing without that title and like that title that she needs the title to like validate herself and stuff like that. That was a killer promo from Bianca Belair. Killer.
Yeah.
They have plenty of women who, if they were given the time, would surprise you. That is a 100%, like we've been talking about. It's a creative thing. They don't care about any other women besides the 4 horsewomen. They've used Asuka in that role. Like if someone's injured or out, Asuka's the fill-in because they know that she is as good as they come. But other than that, like they don't build. And it's on the men's side too, but they don't build new stars properly. They rely on the stars that they think they have.
It's
an issue.
It's
because
big
the
issue.
stars get older, and as they get older, it shouldn't have taken Roman Reigns 8 years to get over, man. What? Like to truly get over. Because now he's over. Like everyone looks at him and they go, that's the guy. He's going to be champion for probably 2 straight years. Like, that's the guy, right? He's a heel, but that's the guy. It took 8 years for that to happen. Look at Roman Reigns. Should that have taken 8 years? No. Do you remember the reactions he was getting in the Shield when he was quiet, didn't talk, just a badass? When he would get tagged in, that crowd would pop. And they were bad guys then, too. And then they tried to make him this suffering succotash, cookie cutter bullshit when he's a badass Samoan that should just be crushing dudes, which is what he's doing now. Hello. Like that shouldn't have been 8 years in the making. There shouldn't have happened. And that is like the 100% the problem with WWE is they don't, it's either their way or not. Think about the great moments in the last, we'll use WrestleMania 30 with Bryan as the starting point. Think about the great, real good moments that we've had since then. Like there was Daniel Bryan, the man, Becky Lynch, Kofi Kingston, I would say, winning the title. There's other ones, but those are the 3 that stick out to me the most. Those 3 were all made in spite of the booking. In spite of the booking. They didn't event, but the crowd said, no, he's our guy. It's him. It's him. Lynch, they turned, and the crowd was like, oh, nope. We want to root for her because she's awesome. Then was a fill-in for injury in a Nation Chamber match, and the crowd went, yeah, you know what? We really friggin' like Kofi, so we want Kofi to be our guy now. And those great moments that we remember, that was all in spite of the creative that they had planned.
And I think that's a perception problem with the outside. Like you're seeing like the Serena Deebs and Hikaru Shida's put on a 20-minute, and they're not even top of the card in AEW, right? But and then you're seeing Empower do what they did on Tuesday and what they did with the pay-per-view, the things going on in Impact with Deonna Purrazzo and Mickie James. And, you're seeing all these women flourish in other companies, and SmackDown's main event segment is a title swap with 2 of the best female performers in the world. Yep. It's just, and then everybody wants to dog on them for being upset about it or fake upset about it or what. But I mean, why wouldn't you be?
Right. And we want to thank Fightful Gaming for the raid. Our buddy Joel Pearl in the chat as well. Thank you. Us. We were having a good discussion / heated discussion
After this for Quizplex.
Yes, about Charlotte in the WWE Women's Division. And yes, in about 15 minutes from now, 9 o'clock Eastern, we will have an episode of Quizplex right here on the channel. So like Pluggo just said, stick around.
Which means I can't lose the draft tonight because we're not going to have one.
I know. Unbelievable. Oh, man.
Everybody says
I got heated there. I apologize for that.
No, that's okay.
And it's one
because
of those
we
things
want it to be.
Exactly.
Women's wrestling. We want the WWE or all of it to be great. Like I said earlier, more wrestling and successful wrestling, whether you like it or not, is better for business, right? It goes back to like if anything. If there's more of it, that's good. Coke, Pepsi, if you're whatever. But if they're both successful, that means the soda industry is successful and everybody.
It's just
Dr. Pepper,
Dr. Pepper, man.
Who cares if you like ROH, Impact, whatever? I don't care. I just want more of it on my TV, more options to choose from. And I'm a happy guy. That keeps us going here. If we only had WWE to talk about every week, we probably would be like, do we really want to keep doing this? Because it's just one thing. Even if they're successful, it's just one thing. So I'm all about it. More's better. That's why we get heated. We get fired up. We were cursing, so Angry Spencer was out.
No, but
he likes the numbers that we do.
Right?
We're the flagship.
It's just one of those things where it's like, and people, they think that like certain, we don't like WWE or, we're pro this and that. It's not like the reason why I love professional wrestling is because of WWE and WWF. Like that's the wrestling that I watched when I was little that made me fall in love with wrestling. And I've watched WWF, WWE more than any other wrestling company in my life. I still watch, even though the shows aren't that good. I still watch weekly. I want the shows to be good because I just want it to be good. And they clearly have the talent to be good, but there's no effort. It feels like there's just no effort when it comes to creative. It's the same old rematches, distraction finishes, roll ups. It's not,
And I just thought of this question, if I may, since we have Karl on. I know your opinion of it because it's kind of tying all into this, right? All this wrestling talk, and we want it to be good. What do you think, Karl, of Eric Bischoff's comments about the shut up and wrestle thing? We touched on it a little bit last week, but he kind of doubled down on it earlier this week on Sam
Roberts. What did he say this week? I didn't hear
basically was like AEW's. It's like comparing a AAA batting average to the major leagues. Like it's apples and bricks. Like he basically was like no, and it's Eric freaking Bischoff. So if we got about 10 minutes left or so, I like I said, I don't know if you saw the comments, JPJ, or not, but I was like, Karl, I'd love to hear your opinion on the shots between companies and all that fun stuff.
I'm going to make it super short and simple. Controversy creates cash. Okay. I mean, who said that? Oh, it was Eric Bischoff, right? So is this him now creating a little bit more controversy because he understands and knows that if there is this controversy going on, especially with the two companies that are going kind of head to head, talking AEW and the WWE, and the little shots that they keep taking at each other, right? I was just turned on to this the other night. I think it was last night. Somebody comes up to me and actually it was Bubba Duke. Bubba Duke is like, hey, AEW has been doing like this, like rainbow colors and everything, fluorescence effects for a while. And now, NXT 2.0, is all rainbow colors and neons and effects.
And it's working.
And it is working, right? So there's always going to be these little clashes that are going to happen. There's always going to be these two companies that are going head to head that are going to take those little shots at each other, but it's only going to make things good for business, I feel, because people are going to continue watching and being like, hey, I saw what they did there. And then they're going to be looking for that. And it's just going to keep things kind of going. Eric Bischoff is probably one of the greatest minds that I have ever met in my entire life.
Oh, we're getting a run in. I think we're getting a run in
okay.
here.
That is
I think we're getting a run in.
That means keep the language down.
No, it's fine.
Children,
he can't hear you.
But yeah, I mean, like Eric Bischoff. I mean, I've met Eric Bischoff a couple of times already, and just one of the most amazing guys that I've had the opportunity to sit down and talk with. It's been fantastic, and
Yeah.
Eric Bischoff knows what he's talking about. So if he's saying "shut up and wrestle," maybe
Maybe
you
listen
should
to him.
listen.
Maybe you should listen to him a smidge.
Yeah,
I'm an Eric Bischoff guy. Are you?
I am too.
Are you an Eric Bischoff guy? Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Okay,
he
good
knows.
call,
He
good call.
knows.
You know what's up. You know
Smart,
what's up.
smart.
Oh,
And we want to thank Throwback as well for the raid.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
I had a train
Throwback.
of thought, and then he ruined it. But what I was the controversy creates cash thing, right? So,
Yeah.
hey, Quizplex, we're the flagship. Come at us. Sorry, we should just shut up and podcast. Oh, yeah. No, we love Quizplex. They're
Uh-oh,
coming
you
up
gotta rip
here
your
in
headphones off.
about 10 minutes or a little less than 10 minutes. We're at Quizplex. They're going to kill it. Zach's an awesome host. Sounds like they got some spooky stuff going on tonight.
Yeah,
Owen's running in tonight. I don't know what you're doing. You had your birthday shout out last
Yeah, I was gonna say, how was the birthday?
Sorry, Carl.
Was the birthday
Very
good?
unprofessional.
no, that's okay.
Whenever we have guests, there is some sort of run-in. There's some sort of
Always.
run-in that tries to upstate. You know, it just is what it
Who's
is.
your favorite wrestler? Do you like who you like? Who's your favorite wrestler? Oh, Braun Strowman. Okay.
Wow. All right. Fair.
Yeah. See.
Fair. We might be seeing him soon at some point.
Yep.
This kid has derailed this show once again. This is like the third time.
JPJ is
The
gonna
third
fire me, dude.
I'm not gonna fire you. I'm gonna fire your kid. We're speaking
Spencer's
of
gonna
word
shut the
slam.
show
Speaking
down.
of word slam, yeah. Speaking of word slam, do you remember what
We
our
did.
promo was from Word Slam 2? I don't give a shit about your kids, Pluggo. All right, no,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, it's fine.
Hopefully he had a good birthday last week. Hopefully he had a good birthday.
Oh, you should see the look on his mom's face right now.
Why? Why?
She's
Yeah, I bet.
because he's not supposed to be down. You're not supposed
Correct.
To be down
Yes, you're gonna feel the wrath of your mom soon.
Here,
It's
go
not
see
gonna be
Mama.
good. It's not gonna be good.
Say bye. Say bye.
Bye, buddy. No,
Say bye.
He's not leaving. He's
Oh,
no way
it's
in
gonna
hell he's
get, it's
leaving.
gonna get serious.
Oh, yep, here it comes. Yep, there it comes. Earmuffs. Earmuffs. Oh, have that after the show.
The views and opinions expressed by Owen are not those of Between Two Beards.
Ooh.
Oh, my
Josh
God.
Robinson, a child, a crying child.
Oh, my goodness. So I'm
want
gonna have
to
to put a,
also-
I'm gonna have to put a lock on this
Yes.
door.
I don't know how
I'm
you haven't already.
No wonder.
Gosh.
I mean,
How
I
do you
will
not
say
have
that- I
just even
will
a
s-
hook on the door?
you're
How is
right.
there not even a hook? I mean, hashtag. How is there not how is there not a hook?
Did
the
someone
door.
say? Did someone say hook?
Yeah, yeah, you gotta do the. Yeah, Josh Robinson, Hook. I was very upset. I didn't get to see Hook last night. He
What?
wasn't on. He wasn't there.
He didn't even valet.
No,
Oh,
Not anywhere to be
goodness
seen.
gracious.
yeah.
Yeah, I
But
gotta
was
figure
ready
that
for
out.
Hook.
It's only when we have a guest. He's just like, who y'all talking to?
Yeah.
Like he knows.
Well, I mean, he had pretty decent timing. We were getting towards the end here.
but I
at
will
least.
say, since he walked in, the viewership has spiked.
It did.
a
It did
little
go
bit.
up.
It
It
did
did
go
go up.
up.
People love kids.
Oh, and his controversy creates cash.
Yeah, people love kids. But no, I do think, and now that Josh is in the chat, I know Josh is also a very big fan of one Eric Bischoff.
Silver Fox.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I tuned in at the wrong time. Yeah, you walked right into crying baby getting escorted out.
Ecto guys, like, I
Uh,
was here for Quizplex. What the fuck is
And
this?
and I
That's
feel like
where
I
to
feel
go,
like
like
I
Charlotte
am
Flair.
I feel like currently I am where Babadook is. I still watch and hope that WWE pulls their heads kind of out of their asses and does something, And we know they have it in them. We've seen them do good. They do good
Yeah.
stuff every week too. There's good
Yeah.
segments. There's good things that work. The Bianca Belair Becky Lynch segment on Raw was awesome. You know what I mean? That 4-way ladder match main event on Raw was awesome. Like I thought Raw this week wasn't half bad, but like they do good. They have it in them. Of course they do. And that's what even makes it more frustrating. It's like,
even the Charlotte Rhea Ripley match from earlier this year,
yeah,
Money in the Bank was really
yeah, like they have it in them. They
Yeah.
just decide to just take the easy way out and be lazy. And it's like, you know what? Like I'm investing at some weeks with pay-per-views 10 hours of my time 8 to 10 hours of my time watching your product. The least you could do is make me not feel like I'm a fucking idiot. Okay, that's the last swear I'm saying. The kid left, so I was allowed to swear. I'm sorry. Anyway,
he can't hear you.
I
With
don't care. I'm not swearing in front of a child. Jeez.
Listen,
I have morals, Pluggo. Damn it.
That kid needs to be sweared at sometime.
Well, that's your job.
I do my job really well.
All right. Anyway, it is 8:55. We're gonna do our plugs and get out of here. So
welcome
Quizplex
to
can set up.
Beards for all those that just hopped in. And
Yes.
Carl, sorry, man.
It's all good.
Yeah. No. Well, this is a good time.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
time.
That's what we do. I could
Carl?
talk to you, Carl, for hours. I know we want to have you back on when we have more time, but we do have an awesome Quizplex lined up after this.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yes.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
So Carl, where can the people find you? What do you got going on here at Love Wrestling, and just in general, plug your shit, my friend.
Turnbuckle Talk is the main show that I have been on for the last 5.5 years. Mighty Joe and I had been doing that. It is now myself and Bubba Duke that are doing that show, which is absolutely fantastic. Usually Tuesdays at 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. The EST is when we are on Love Wrestling on the Twitch, YouTube, and on our Facebook page. Facebook is at TB Talk Pod. Hey, you know what? Instagram and Twitter is at TB Talk Pod as well. Go and check them out. I do try to put absolutely everything that I can onto Turnbuckle Studios YouTube page, so go and check that out. And maybe go and give some love to my latest unboxing video that I did for Pro Wrestling Crates. That would be amazing as well. Hopefully I need to talk with Spencer a little bit, but I want to be able to get another Turnbuckle Rewind episode out at least by the 31st on Halloween, which might actually be kind of a something spooky. So let's hope for that to happen. So that's it.
What did you need? We'll make it happen.
Good. Let's make it happen. Yeah, at TB Talk Pod, and then Turnbuckle Studios on YouTube. That's where you can find everything I'm doing.
All right. And I've been on Turnbuckle Talk, I want to say like 3 or 4 times. It's always a good time hopping on there. It's a great show. I listen to it every week.
I have not.
Well, some of us are just built different. Anyway, Pluggo.
You want me to plug all the shows on now?
No, I'm kidding. Stop crying.
Oh,
Pluggo.
No, it's a great show. You guys do a
fantastic show.
You two are fantastic at what you do.
And as Josh says, JJ is on every show, to be fair.
This is true. Busiest man in podcasting.
Pluggo, anything for you to plug besides, what is this?
Just for Ecto Guy.
All right, yes.
He's
trying to get
he says I need that Legends Warrior behind you, so
you're not getting it, but I figured I'd at least let you see it.
I've got nothing going on, so hit me up. Like, we'll do some business. No, I'm comfortably doing this show every Thursday with you, JPJ. Loving it. Carl, like I said, we'd love to have you on a longer show so we could talk more, because there's a lot to talk about in a short period of time.
I would like to do a draft with a topic that I think Carl could come up with some good topics.
Honestly, you never know what I got going on, when I might pop up, when I might do something. I'm available this weekend. Maybe I'll jump on some with the brunch or whatever.
Yeah, the brunch. Have you been on a brunch before?
I was on one brunch once.
Yeah.
I now have weekends off at my shoot job. So Love Wrestling, blowing off stream, Sunday brunch. Watch out. No, but as always, it is a great time to be alive. We're here between episode 25. We made it
25 today.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. I mean, it's not
quarter cinch, man. Quarter cinch. Quarter cinch. There
I'll
you go. Josh says go talk to him, Pluggo.
Josh,
so there you go. There's an invite.
Josh, the DMs are open, baby. Let's make it happen. I got some ideas for you for the Between Two Beards show too, Josh. We'll talk. But hey,
all right, let's
Quiz
go.
Plus Stat is stacked after this. Stay tuned. That's a fun show. It's a great game show. I never get any of the questions right, but they kill it over there. They're always so hard. It's like, come on. Why can't you do it? It's like, who wrestled in 1930s in an Iron Man match against? And I'm like, I don't know what happened last week.
All right.
Anyway.
We are, speaking of, we're going to get out of here in just about under a minute. Stay on this channel if you're here. Thank you for hopping in the chat. But stay on this channel. Quizplex coming up with 3 very special guests. Spooky version of Quizplex coming up just in about 30 seconds. So for Karl, for Pluggo, I'm JPJ. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
And for Owen, get a job.